Hi, thank you for letting me know that I'm muted. Just trying to juggle a bunch of things here. I was trying to troubleshoot some folks, but welcome to Kuneco. I'm about to start in a minute. So team, I see you were able to join. So Nestor is going to activate your microphone in a second so you're able to present because you're the first presenter. I'm gonna stop the music. Cool. GMO, yes, please say GM on the chat and let us know where you're joining us from. Hi, everyone. Welcome all. Welcome all. Okay. I am about to get started now. So you should be able to see my screen now. Okay. Okay, so let's get started. Hi, friends. This is Daniel from the Celo Foundation. And as you know, as many of you know, this is Kuneco, our Celo Community Town Hall. This is the first Kuneco of 2023, and this is a big one, so welcome back. Before I get started with the agenda, I would like to talk about some of the rules we have for this call. So first, this call is being recorded and notes will be taken for documentation. The recording and notes can be found next week under the calls post on the Celo forum. You can find it within the Kuneco category and with today's date. Please keep your microphone off until it is your time to speak. If you want to speak, Nestor actually, who is a co-host today, will activate your microphone so you're able to speak. I will be facilitating this conversation by calling you and give you a space to talk if you are a presenter or have a question. We have 3 speakers today, each with 15 minutes to present. I will be passing the slides, so just please tell me next slide and I will help you. I will be keeping a timer to make sure we cover everything in an hour. So I will let you know when you have 5 minutes and then when you have 1 minute left so you can wrap up. After that, we will have 5 minutes for Q&A. So please type your question in the chat and we will help you reading the question out loud or raise your hand to speak and Nestor will activate your microphone and I will call you when it is your turn. Okay, so now to the agenda. As I said, today's Kuneco has only 3 agenda items, but each is packed with great content. We are going to start with the bright Tim Morton, CLab CEO, who will be talking about Celo 2.0. I had a preview of his presentation this week, and trust me on this is going to be awesome. This is awesome work. Then we have the talented Liz Strong, or I Am Your Kryptonite on TikTok, who was until very recently a Celo Foundation grantee. And she will be talking about her work telling the story of Celo on her channels. And finally, our very own Jackie Bona, CEO of Valora, is going to come on stage to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of Valora and give us a big update on what she and her team are working on. So awesome. I don't want to bore you more. And so without further ado, Tim Morton.
Hey everybody, thank you, Daniel. Hope everybody is well this morning. I'm going to talk a little bit about all the thinking we've been doing over the last few months about where CLabs is proposing the Celo blockchain roadmap goes. So next slide, please. Yeah, so I think if you kind of look at where we are right now, Celo mainnet launched on Earth Day 2020. We have managed to, as a community, like fulfill or begin to fulfill a number of the promises and like applications envisaged in the original Celo white paper that Marek and Sepp and Rene wrote like a number of years ago now. All of those are themes around like reimagining money for the greater good. And, you know, the platform is thriving in the sense that like payments are passing continually from individual to individual, like social payments are happening from mobile phones. There are stable value currencies deployed on the platform in the shape of Mento assets and other bridged assets as well. We've seen like community currencies emerge, UBI and social dividend platforms such as like Impact Market and now Good Dollar launching as well, alongside like a whole host of other use cases that we just didn't imagine when we were kind of, certainly when I was like beginning to get into the community several years ago. And so I think definitely it's been like, we've been thinking for a while and gathering a ton of feedback and working with developers and builders, entrepreneurs and just all kind of range of community members, enterprises and partners to like talk about and understand what we can do to like help bring Celo forward to the next chapter. So if we move forward a slide. And so we're thinking about this very much as like a kind of new chapter, right? Like Celo began as a more of a, like there were a lot of applications envisaged in the original white paper, but there was also like this kind of idea that at its heart there was this kind of vertical stack of applications focused on payments. And I think this kind of moniker that Morgan Beller has used about Celo as like a Venmo for crypto, it kind of captures a lot of that initial that initial focus. But I think what we've seen is that the power of Celo so much is in the developer community, and that there is so much opportunity to like double down on Celo as a platform and make it the best platform for building applications that bring financial inclusion and like social benefits to everyone, and to do so in a kind of open and permissionless way. And so that's the kind of the core of what we are proposing really for this next roadmap. So if you move to the next slide. So a lot of this is really about embracing like the strengths of where we see Ethereum going, and also like leaning into a number of like key things that are like different about Celo in order to make Celo the best platform for regenerative applications and builders. So there's a number of things I'll touch on here. So horizontal scalability, making sure that you know if you're a developer that is building an application on Celo, that if suddenly your application takes off and is used by millions or tens of millions of people, then the platform is going to grow with you. Simple developer experience, like making sure that the best-in-class tools in the web that the Web3 space has to offer are all available to you as a developer on Celo, and that they all work seamlessly together. Ethereum alignment, just making sure that like Celo is completely compatible with Ethereum and with other EVM chains, that the differences are only additive and not like complications, and that and that changes in Ethereum can happen in lockstep with those on Celo, and that we can kind of we can contribute back and be part of that broader community as well. Enhanced tokenomics, I think like the original tokenomic design of Celo was actually awesome, but I think there's a few opportunities with the community support to like make it even stronger. Fastest EVM. So like, you know, part of the vision for horizontal scalability is around rollups, but like L2s are only just getting to the point of really being ready. And I think that even as they are ready, like it's still very important for developers and for rollups to be able to deploy on an EVM that is among the fastest in class. And I think that's what we can achieve. And also dApp building blocks as well. So yeah, let's dive into some of these. Next slide, please. Cool. So we spent a long time thinking about and researching different approaches to scalability, and obviously different blockchains take different approaches here, from like the kind of Cosmos app chain model through to the kind of faster, improved monolithic blockchains like Solana and Sui. Which through to like the sharded model, which obviously near follows, which was the kind of earlier Ethereum scalability roadmap, through to rollups, which is, I think, where the Ethereum community has landed now. We thought very carefully about this. We talked to a lot of people working in the space, and obviously a large number of C-Labs advisors are have been very intimately involved in thinking about and proposing various different positions in the space. In the end, we're proposing that the primary way that we make Celo scale horizontally is through deploying rollups and L2s, because fundamentally for reasons of security and economic security, the trade-offs that I think rollups can provide from a security perspective are very strong, and rollups also enable us to be able to deliver applications or deliver to builders the ability to customize applications. So there's an opportunity for builders to potentially build applications with different interfaces, or that are matched to the use case that they need, like beyond the kind of limits of the EVM. So for example, if you were looking to put together a payments app where you really wanted very low latency, you wanted transaction privacy, maybe you wanted a KYC boundary, but you only wanted simple transactions, a rollup would be a great model on which to kind of build that application on top of Celo. So one of the things that we are doing is looking to make Celo as friendly and as well suited to building rollups on as any chain. And so there's a number of things that we already have, and a number of things that we are kind of doubling down on for that. So things that Celo already has is a platform that makes us actually a great platform to build rollups on. We have a consistent, fast 5-second block time. We have immediate finality, which means there's no reorgs, which significantly simplifies the implementation of rollups. We also have pre-compiles that are for various crypto operations, which makes the ability to build kind of ZK EVMs potentially simpler and faster on Celo. So we're going to be doubling down on those things. We're going to be looking to lower the block time to be able to support like lower latency transfers between L2s and to provide faster settlement. We'll be adding new pre-compiles like together with teams building ZK rollups. And we're also going to be investigating and extending Celo's proof of stake system to support restaking, so that subservices or L2s or bridges can benefit from the stake that's already locked by Celo validators, and therefore make it really simple and lower cost to be able to support a set of validators for an L2 on Celo. Pretty exciting. Next slide.
Tim, you have 5 minutes.
Okay, the time has gone so quickly. Okay, Ethereum alignment, perfect compatibility. I talked a little bit about this. We want to make it as simple as possible for developers coming from other chains in the ecosystem or managing multi-chain apps deployed across a number of different EVM chains to be able to extend to Celo. And so this is about just things like aligning hard forks, making sure that we have like very well documented specification of the protocol, that everything, all the tools that you expect are available on Celo. It also means that we want to make it as easy as possible as a user to come from Ethereum to Celo and back. And so one of the things that we're looking at proposing is adding WETH, so wrapped ETH, as a gas currency directly on Celo, so that Ethereum users don't need to have access or even swap into regular Celo assets in order to be able to benefit from apps deployed on Celo. Next slide. Talked about making Celo the fastest EVM L1 as well. So we've been working on this in conjunction with Miston Labs for a while. Excuse me. This falls into 3 categories. A new consensus mechanism to lower block time and speed execution. Good job, I only have 5 minutes left. Also, parallelizing the EVM in order to be able to make the most of multi-core servers. Next slide. We've done a ton of work around improving the developer experience. Recently, our goal here is that you have access to the best-in-class EVM tools that work seamlessly together. Just added Celo support for wagme.dev. Celo Safe is feature compatible with like Upstream Safe, and there's some exciting work going on that side as well. Rainbow Kit support and Furadded support. We're working on Foundry next. And Celo Composer is a phenomenal place to start building apps on Celo that combines all of these things together. Next slide. Yeah, so there's some exciting possibilities here. We're looking at proposing to the community to make Celo deflationary by burning the base of the transaction fee in the same way that Ethereum does. So Celo implemented EIP 1559 about a year before Ethereum. And right now in Celo, the funds from that base transaction fee go to the community fund. By burning it, we'll be returning value to the to Celo holders, and so Celo would become, I guess, in the sense of the Ethereum meme, not sound money but ultrasound money. So this is something to really to watch out for. Next slide. Yep, and then we're also continuing to build out the building blocks that help developers build richer applications faster on top of Celo. So we have social connect in beta at the moment. We announced that in partnership with Valora, with Node, Libera, and Kala wallets. You'll be able to basically use that to send money between identifiers for individuals registered on any of the above wallets in a completely interoperable, decentralized fashion. And stake Celo and the liquid staking protocol in use by Spirals and other developers. Next slide.
Tim, you have only 1 minute, but what I'm thinking is that perhaps you can use the 5 minutes for Q&A because I know your presentation is longer, and then you just point people to the place where they can ask their questions.
Sounds good. Let's keep going. I think I'm nearly there actually. So what's next?
Yeah, you're there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've written up roadmaps for the next few months on the forum. Obviously, all of this is stuff that we are working on for the community. C Labs focuses almost all of our time on working on public goods for the Celo infrastructure, from the blockchain layer, the core contracts, dev tooling, governance, data services, and also helping strategic partners like onboard onto Celo. Please take a read, reach out, send feedback, thoughts. Your contributions will make these roadmaps better. And yeah, looking forward to hearing from you.
Awesome. That was actually on time, which thank you so much. That I know I put you through a lot. So we do have a few minutes for questions people may have for team. So you can raise their hand on the reactions button you see below. and Nestor will give you this. Will activate your. Oh, I see questions are starting to come. So okay, so Anthony, I see Anthony Duca has a question. So Nestor, could you please activate the microphone?
Hi, thank you so much. I just got in. So this is Anthony from Celo, Nigeria. I wish to know if this slide will be accessible for us to, get to see and also check out later on.
Yeah, that's a question for me. Yes, I will make these slides available, just like the recording and the notes from the call on the same post for the call on the forum. Let us know if there is other questions you may have, or type the questions on the chat. Happy to read them out loud for you. Last call for questions. We have a bunch of content we want to go through, so I just want to keep us on time. Okay, so I do see here on the slide deck that there is a link for people to go to Discord to ask questions. So we will be there answering your questions if you have. So, okay, so next I would, oh, sorry, 1 second. Before that, there is a question here by Quan Lee. How is Celo roadmap compared to Arbitrum and Optimism? Tim, are you able to take that question? Tim?
Okay, I couldn't unmute. Now I can unmute. Perfect. How are we different? Well, Celo is an L1 and Arbitrum and Optimism are L2s. So you could imagine seeing an L2 like Optimism built on top of, or extended to run on top of Celo. Celo as an L1 has, like right now, has a somewhat different, stronger security model, and I think all L1s right now are like generally the preferred place to build if what you care about is like maximizing security. So I think L2s definitely have an important place in the future, and we see like a combination of general purpose L2s like Optimism and Arbitrum plus special purpose L2s, for example, for payments kind of deployed on Celo.
Thank you, Tim. So now next, I would like to invite Liz Strong to the stage. Liz, you should be able to speak now, but if not, I see you now are active. So hi, Liz.
Hey, thank you so much, Daniel. Hello, everyone. My name is Liz Strong, and you guys are going to be going through this presentation kind of like how I do one of my TikToks. So hopefully this is super fun for everyone. Next slide. So actually, Celo got 2.3 million views as of December 2022. And fun fact, as of February 2023, it is closer to 2.6 million views. How? Let's roll back to how it started. Next slide. So remember COVID in 2021? There was a lockdown. We were all starved for social contact. Next slide. TikTok was skyrocketing during that time because we were spending all our time on social media. Next slide. We also had low interest rates, free flowing money. And I bet, next slide, we all saw the random people talk about crypto trading and how they make millions online, right? At the same time, next slide, Celo had signed their Deutsche Telekom partnership. Next slide. And also Valora had spun off with the Series A announcement. It was definitely a different time because people didn't really hate or pity you for being in crypto then, especially online. Next slide. So when I started my TikTok channel, I am your Kryptonite. Next slide. I was working as an enterprise account executive at a wealth tech marketing startup. Next slide. I could see in prospecting for my clients that there was a huge institutional interest in crypto starting in December 2020. And I thought, hey, I want to learn more about crypto. So why not start by sharing my TikTok? Why not start by sharing what I learned on TikTok as I learn it, so I can continue explaining things the first time a beginner understands it. Next slide. This was first sparked because when I tried to learn crypto on Twitter, I was so overwhelmed with all the buzzwords, the news, who's who. I couldn't understand what was like opinions versus the facts versus who was just shilling on Twitter. And so, next slide. I wanted my channel to be the ultimate crypto education guide, especially for beginners. Since I was recommending more advanced resources for my followers, I could just be the introduction to them, and they could go off to more advanced resources such as, next slide, she256.org, which was very popular, and next slide, A16Z Crypto Startup School. Okay, I hope this video plays next. Next slide. Play the video, please.
So at the back of every single calculus test I took in high school, I drew a sad face and said I'm sorry because I could never understand the calculus concepts. And from that point on, I realized I need to study really, really complicated things in groups, otherwise I'm never going to get it. So for people who are interested in crypto, I would like to introduce this really cool opportunity called kernel.community. They have this 8-week program of 250 people where you learn about 16 main topics in crypto. If you click curious, you're gonna come to this page, and as soon as I saw this, I was like, complicated. Which is why it's so exciting that it's a group of people learning this all together. I also heard that if you are a female or non-binary applicant, you do get to do this program for free. The deadline is April 15th to apply, and you can follow me for more beginner-friendly crypto content.
So actually, whenever I look at any of my most of my old TikToks, even if they had amazing numbers and gave great information, I still cringe. It's definitely one thing to post and another thing to be there while other people watch your videos. This is one of the earlier TikToks I posted. It was about the Kernel Fellowship. It blew up to 15K views, and I later learned in my own interview with Kernel that they immediately received 100 applicants at once. And they were super confused until they saw that some applicants had linked my TikTok. It's only 15K views now, but I think at that time it was about 10K views, and I was under 10K followers. Next slide. When Celo,
every single calculus test I took in high school, I drew a sad face.
Oh, sorry, next slide if possible.
So at the back of every single calculus test I took in high school, I drew a sad face and said,
okay, thank you. So when Celo reached out to me, I got to work with the amazing duo, Anna and Daniel. And at the time, we set an initial pilot of 3 months. Next slide. Here were the topics we planned to cover in the first 3 months. It was very interesting because I came up with all of these before ever making a TikTok about Celo at that point. We divided it into why does Celo even exist, Celo's partners and why do they exist, awareness of how large and established Celo is. Because for the average TikTok user, they know about Bitcoin. They don't even know about Ethereum for the most part. When they know about Bitcoin, it's literally just the word Bitcoin. Month 3 was technical-ish dive on interesting projects in the ecosystem for builders, designers, operators. And so the tilt for that was how to get a job in crypto or how to build in crypto. Under each, there were more specific topics that each TikTok could cover. And what happened was we had planned for more. We had actually planned for, I think, 13 or 12 TikToks, I think. Next slide. And we actually made 22 TikToks, got 439K views in just 3 months. And the pilot taught us a lot. For me, it didn't make sense to have a developer sign up to join the hackathon for one video, and then to have another video explain what remittances was to the average TikTok user. And I say the average TikTok user, but just think about just the average person on the street. Next slide. You can play the video. That is an example of the hackathon video.
I have to explain to so many non-tech people that hackathons aren't something you do to like hack into stuff and like take systems down, but hackathons are actually like usually sponsored by a company or something where they have this new technology and they want you to build stuff on it so that more people use it and more people can see a use case for it so that they can sell it and make more money. They're called hackathons because you're trying to hack or like DIY something to work. And these hackathon sponsors pay a lot of money in prizes. This is the second video in the Crypto College Dropout playlist, so the advice is incoming. To get my foot in the door in the crypto industry, I would apply to hackathons like this one. There's $2.5 million in prizes. Check out this video for an intro to Celo. I like to think about Celo as crypto with a purpose. Look at the green track they have, low carbon ideas that put the planet first. Can you imagine working on something in crypto that actually helps the planet? No? Well, you should think about it because we should make it happen. There's also a track to help democratize access to digital money. Like I said in my first Celo video, 1.7 billion people don't have banks. Do you wonder, hey, if they don't have banks, how do they pay for stuff? It can't be all in cash. Figure it out and you'll get 20K in a job. Question?
And you can go to the next video.
I have to explain to so many and
you can play it.
$500 changed Jorge's life. Let's talk about credit in developing countries and how you can help. Jorge had emigrated to Colombia to provide a better life for his family. And he works as a bike messenger by day. And Jorge dreams of owning his own business again. When COVID had hit, immigrants like Jorge fulfilled the delivery demand, often with very manual bikes. And Celo, a crypto company, had realized that an electric e-bike could change everything for Jorge. So Celo gave Jorge and his friends $500 each to go buy an electric bike. Jorge and his friends doubled their income. But how did Celo know to find Jorge and his friends? Follow for more social good crypto stories, and that's in part 2.
Next slide, please. And if anyone is curious, this is kind of what the analytics page and TikTok looks like. You can see the first number, I'm just gonna go to the left, 23K views, 3.2K likes, 80 comments, and 62 shares. Those are pretty good numbers. And I think this is one of the first videos that we did. Next slide, please. And then you could also see it divided by region. Next slide, please. So my viewers were starting to get confused. It strayed from the original purpose, which was to teach beginners about crypto. Next slide. Even more alarming, crypto was getting pummeled by the mainstream media. Next slide. And I could see that my viewers were becoming more anti-crypto since the only real motivation was to learn crypto was financial, not because they were aware of blockchain technology and real world use cases. Next slide. So we shop for the next slide again. So we shopped for our entire worth of TikToks and mapped out 4 key areas based on the pilot with a consumer focus for people who don't know anything about crypto. With climate as a focus, next slide. Earning crypto, next slide. Volunteering for crypto and earning crypto in Valora, next slide. In the upcoming year, we had made 17 YouTube videos, next slide. 71 TikToks, next slide. And Celo received 1.87 million views in 2022. So what were people the most interested in? The real world use cases of crypto, but explain problem first. People like to understand what the problem was and various solutions before crypto was introduced. And here's an example. Next slide.
You have 5 minutes.
Okay.
I think this video got slog, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can kind of explain what the video was, but it's obviously not as engaging as just verbally explaining it. But basically, I was talking about Argentina's inflation rate and then their black market for exchanging currency, how tourists have trouble getting their own currency to use as a tourist there. So they are advised to bring their own cash ahead of time. This video had gotten 230K views, I think, and people were just blowing up the comment section, adding their own experiences, adding their thoughts about inflation, adding about the black market, and like specifically already offering examples as to how crypto can be used as a hedge. And they also, this was part of a series, this was part 4, and I had gone through a bunch of different I had gone through a bunch of different countries and why their citizens would go and look at crypto as a real world use case example. Next slide. The other example is Decade. Play it. Okay, I don't know if it's gonna load, but I think this video had gotten 130K views. So Decay, I wanted to show this one because I wanted people who have the real world issue of wanting to build marketable skills, have access to Decade, have access to be able to learn crypto in a community center. And we actually covered Decade in the initial pilot. They got 2K visitors to their website within 24 hours. And
I'm gonna try to play it again, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe the link is broken because the previous videos worked.
Oh, okay. I'll fix that later in the slide then. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, so that was an example of another real world use case that crypto could solve. And then the next one was talking about good players under capitalism. So I think like any sort of social commentary about capitalism in particular, or how like things don't work anymore, it always goes viral on social media. And so for the concept of this video, which was less than 30 seconds, I think this was 500,000 views. The concept of the video was that there are many top tier players in every industry, say like Keanu Reeves in Hollywood, Tim Tebow in football, Mr. Beast in YouTube, and I included Celo in crypto because they are leading financial prosperity for everyone and focused on social good. And so I kind of played it in a way that everyone has an opinion on. Like Tebow I said something a little off about Tim Tebow. I said one reason that I admire him was that he prays to his God before every game. And I didn't mean to say that, but I thought, oh, I'll leave it in because people are going to comment on it and like engage more with the video. What I meant to say was, even though like people persecute him for his faith, he still does what he does and is like a great role model for people standing up for their faith in whatever faith you are. And then next slide, please.
You have 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah, so my followers can point to the real world use cases of crypto, the evolution of money, how crypto can be positive for the environment, how to get involved in the crypto industry, how to set up a crypto wallet. So those top leading TikToks, they lead into watching the rest of the series, which gets more into like the nitty gritty of like how to interact with crypto, how to be like crypto literate. Next slide, please. Most importantly, they learned how crypto can be used for good. Next slide. And second, most importantly, how Celo is behind most of it. Next slide. And these are some of the resources, not some, this is most of my socials. And then the very bottom, there's resources recapping all of 2022, the metrics, all the links, also how to recreate the 17 YouTube videos that I had published. That's it.
Awesome, Liz. Thank you so much for all that, for that incredible presentation. So we do have a few minutes for questions. If anyone has questions for Liz, let us know, raise your hand, type it on the chat. Last call for questions before we move on to hear about Valora. Okay, if you come up with a question later, you have the socials for Liz here, so reach out to her. She's amazing. Liz, thank you so much for all the work you have so far. And thank you so much for all the learnings. We learned so much together. So thank you so much for that. Now, I would love to invite Jackie to the stage. Jackie, let me know if you have your microphone on, please.
You guys hear me? Okay, cool.
Yes, I can hear you.
And
Okay.
I don't know how I'm going to top that presentation with all those entertaining.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, everyone. I'm Jackie, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the Valora team to celebrate not only a milestone for us, but also our community. I wanted to also make sure that you guys stay tuned to the very end for a special surprise that you don't want to miss. And so if you go to the next slide, please. First, I wanted to kick it off with just, taking a minute to go over our journey together to make crypto accessible. And so here's a timeline of our journey over the last 2 years, not only as a product and a company, but also as part of the Celo community. So I'll go over the first two bubbles first, but really, 2 years ago, in February 2021, we publicly launched Valora, and Valora was really used in tandem with many of the great projects that are built on Celo. Also in 2021, we spun off Valora as its very own company. So, it's great that Liz had a shout out there of our announcement. And really, we have a very diverse and talented team building the product. And, it was a big moment for us. I think for 2021 was really the year we started to launch programs like Supercharge, started supporting different assets like Celo Euro and Celo Brazilian Real, and which would eventually evolve to supporting many other tokens and many more use cases. So really laying the groundwork there. Last year for 2022, we were really focusing on evolving Valora from just, a way of sending peer-to-peer payments, but making Valora a gateway to Web3 dApps and to the solutions that are built on Celo. If you remember from the start of last year, we kicked off the Valora Bake-Off with the Celo community, where we worked with a bunch of ecosystem builders to integrate their dApps into Valora. And so a lot of these great dApps participated and won great prizes that we announced at Celo Connect. And really that, again, this was the foundation to make dApps and solutions more discoverable to our users. In 2022, we also kicked off Fiat Connect and Connect the World in partnership with the Celo Foundation. And so this is really, about providing more accessibility and, ways to on-ramp, funds into the wallet. And so, by the end of the year, we really worked with the community to provide, support for over 50 tokens and 30 dApps, again, to all easily access and transact in Valora. And so, thank you for everyone and to the community there for all the partnership and work. So what's next? So, we're in a new year, 2023, and I would really just characterize this as a year of furthering discovery. And so we really see this year as an opportunity to not only continue the investments, in builders, dApps, and therefore these use cases, and really continue to work with the Celo community of builders to make, the experience easier and a better mobile experience for our users. And so if you go into the next slide, I'll actually talk a little bit more about some of the more recent product updates where you're starting to already see signs of this kind of furthering discovery theme that I'm mentioning. And so, for this, slide, I'll talk about the latest product updates and, again, like our investments in making Valora more, utilized, more discoverable. And so, here you can see that enhancing discoverability, we have our dApps page, which is the screenshot here, where we started to surface recently used dApps, but also now the ability to favorite dApps. And so if you haven't tried that feature out already, please go to the dApps page and you can, start favoriting and listing your dApps there. But also we started to invest in more utility via native features for our users. And so, this goes in line with in-app swaps and then also a Celo newsfeed. So not just, showing what the price of Celo is, but actually starting to import, some of the latest news, from the community. And so these are really early things that we started to launch, but, starting to see, really great engagement and results from that. If you go to the next slide, This one is really around, or this theme is really around improving onboarding and accessibility. And so, this is something that Valora has always been focused on is, how do you make it easier for users to start and to start using crypto? And really, the big theme here is more ways to activate on and off ramps. And so we've implemented everything from Coinbase Pay to more native experiences like Fiat Connect. I think the last time at the block party, we had announced our initial markets, Nigeria, Philippines, and Kenya. And since then, we're really excited to announce in partnership, with some of our Fiat Connect partners, new partners that have recently launched this week. So Ghana, Uganda, and India, which is really exciting. So shout out to our partners, Alpha Fortress and Bitmama, for their work there. And so again, really a way to make things easier for users to onboard and to start using Valora and start exploring solutions that are built within Celo. If you go to the next slide, this is really just a celebration of our community slide. And so we're really grateful for all the partnership with the Celo community and really wanted to celebrate, not only this milestone, but also the community of Valora users that span over 100 countries. We're just getting started. We're always trying to make, the experience more relevant to our users. And so, which is why I highlighted, we've localized in over 13 languages, really working with the community to provide even more relevant and localized solutions there. And, really wanted to celebrate that. So if you go to the next slide, and so I had mentioned that we wanted to celebrate this milestone. If you go to the next slide, with a special gift to really celebrate you. And so, because really, our users in this community is really what make Valora what it is. So if you go to the next slide, wanted to announce, basically that we're celebrating our community and the wide variety of users and use cases that Valora supports by kicking off a fun way to give you insight into your very own crypto persona. So we're calling this Your Valora, or hashtag Your Valora. And really it's a thank you for being part of the community. Basically we've sent you your very own crypto persona NFT. So if you open the Valora app now, you can go into the dApps page, you'll see the NFT viewer and basically view your Valora NFT, which you can view in your wallet directly. So now you can show off to your friends, that you're either a Valora explorer, a DeFi diver, or a wallet warrior. If you go to the next slide, I'll give you a preview of some of the different personas and the NFTs associated with it. And so again, this is just like a fun way to celebrate our community, kind of thank our users. But really, these are the NFTs here. So if you're a natural dAppster, you are, one of the users that have done the most dApp transactions, compared to other users. If you're a wallet warrior, you're actually in the top 1% of active users in the Valora community. So good job. If you're a Celo Power user, you're a top active user for Celo assets. And for a crypto wrangler, we kind of made that a fun way to celebrate users that have the highest number of transactions in Valora. So check it out. Hopefully you guys like this fun way of kind of just celebrating different personas, and maybe it's your first NFT in Valora. We'll see. If you go to the next slide, you're probably wondering, how can you actually discover your crypto persona? So if you check your push notifications, I believe my team sent it out, so I haven't been able to check my phone, but we sent you your persona there. Once you check it out, you'll see a GIF here of what the experience looks like, kind of giving you more details on your persona, and also the image and NFT, but also, there's a little prompt there to encourage you to share and tweet about it, and a little contest that you can enter when you do share it on social. And so, yeah, and if you want to view your persona NFT, again, you can just go into your Valora app, go into the dApps page, and the NFT viewer should be one of the featured dApps up there. And then once you head into the NFT viewer, you'll see your crypto persona. And so hopefully, folks like it, that you enjoy and share it and show it off. Would love to get, more feedback on that. And so, if you go into the last slide here, Just again, wanted to thank you all. And again, thank you to our users and the community for just being with us as part of our journey. We really couldn't have done it without you. And so, yeah, just cheers to many more years to come, and thanks again.
Jackie, thank you so much. I got NFT patron.
Woo, me too.
I almost missed my time to tell you you had 5 minutes left, but actually you presented in time, so thank you so much. We have 5 minutes left, actually, just questions. So if anyone has questions for Jackie, please raise your hand or ask the question on the chat. Let us know.
So it looks like on the chat, we have a lot of Celo Power users, some NFT patrons, a crypto wrangler. So awesome. Yeah, hopefully everyone's able to check it out.
Yeah, I'm impressed that so many got to claim their NFT on the call. So that's great. Juan Giraldo has a question for you, Jackie. Is it possible to join efforts to have CCOP this year?
I know our team is looking into having support for various tokens, and I think that's what this question is asking for. So more to come on that. I think definitely joining our Discord to have that conversation and also to provide that feedback on the specific asset listing will help us better design, a more scalable way essentially to support these different tokens. So again, like we've invested a lot just to lay that foundation. And so that's great to hear that there's additional demand to support, other tokens.
Awesome. Okay, there's another question from Johannes. Is there a plan to have another Celo Connect like last year in Barcelona? I believe there is a plan, but more on that soon. We'll learn that from the Celo Foundation soon, hopefully.
I hope so. It was really fun.
We all hope so. Yes, yes. I hope to see all you in person again. That will be a joy.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. So cool, Jackie. I think that that's it. I believe this is the end of the call. So thank you all for coming. Thank you, Jackie, Liz, and team for your presentations. Awesome content today. Oh, there is an announcement here. Alon has an announcement for Celo Camp. Celo Camp batch 7 is now open, and it is open until March 13th. So make sure you apply if you're working on a project. That's an awesome announcement. And we also, if people have other announcements to make, happy to amplify those on the call. We did this last time and it actually felt pretty nice. So thank you, Alon, for taking initiative. Yeah. So thank you all. See you next time. It will be a month from now. I believe the second Friday of March. So see you all on that call again. If you have agenda items that you want to suggest for this call, please go on the forum. There's an entire category just for Kuneco. You can suggest agenda topics on it, where you can also find the documentation for this call. Okay. Thank you all. Have a good rest of your day and a good weekend.